Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 31 of the Glimmer Gang podcast. We have a loaded episode, probably the biggest news drop episode we've had in a good amount of time now. But before we get to that, we have a very special guest here today. It is Jared, Citizens of Lorcana. How are you doing today, sir?
Hey, I'm fantastic. First of all, let me say congratulations. 31 episodes. That's over half a year.
Yeah.
And that's a huge commitment. It's an honor for me to be here, and I'm happy to talk about this announcement today.
Yeah, thanks as always for being here. You're a staple member of this community. We're always happy to have you on. But let's check in with the rest of the Glimmer Gang. Sean, how are you doing today, sir?
Doing fantastic, my friend.
Awesome. Blake, how about you?
Don't run D&D until midnight and record first thing in the morning. That's advice to all my viewers and fans out there.
All right. Well, it looks like we're all awake, at least somewhat. I know me, Sean, and Blake had D&D late into the night last night. It was good. It was a good session. But we're here to talk about Lorcana and OP play. Now, I think it is obvious that we got an announcement of an announcement. There is more to come in February and March from what we got on this past Wednesday, but we still got a lot of news today. And what we're first going to talk about is the three articles that we got from the gamer, all courtesy of Joe Parlock, one of my wonderful bosses, I guess is the best way to put it when I'm writing over there. but uh, we are getting the organized play program. We don't know specifics on locations or what cost is going to look like. We know none of that, but we know the groundworks and how this is going to work. The article opens saying Disney Lorcana is finally kickstarting its competitive scene with the launch of North American and European circuits this May. So obviously, we will see the first tournament hopefully this May. Uh, and then the Disney Lorcana Challenge is what they're calling it. Will include events ranging from local tournaments to regional championships, culminating in an invite-only World Championship in 2025. Challenge begins at regional level challenge events. Those who win at this level will qualify for the North American Championships or the European Championship planned for the 2024 holiday season. These are regional finals, and the top performers from these will be playing for invitations to the 2025 World Championships. Where
It's top eight, right?
I believe so. I believe so for the challenge events, and I'm not 100% sure if they set it for regionals getting into worlds.
Yeah, they haven't given a definitive number for
Okay.
that one.
Good to
Okay.
know. And the last part of this, before we start talking about this part is it says which will be happening as a part of a wider open event, referring to the 2025 World Championships, which makes me think that this is going to be at an event like PAX or Gen Con, something like that. Jared, I'll start with you first. What are your initial reactions to just this chunk of news about how the roadmap is going to be laid out, getting yourself to Worlds through these challenge events?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I know people are saying it's an announcement of announcement, but I think it shared with us more than people are giving it credit for. And if they had waited, then people would be complaining that we didn't have any announcements yet. But as far as the announcement itself, I am in love with this. This is exactly what I was hoping for. I want each event to matter. And I know initially I thought locals led to regionals, regionals to continentals, and then whatever. But I mean, locals are still going to matter because that's where you're going to get, we'll talk about it later, but there's a set championship. And then as far as regionals leading into worlds, I think that's great. It's a merit based system. I don't yeah, I think this is a win.
Yeah, I do too. I completely agree. I think this is going to show that whoever makes it to Worlds is the best of the best. I know a topic was point systems, and coming from a Pokemon background, I like the point system. But now that I see this seems really well done. It seems really well worked out, and obviously we'll get more as it comes. Uh, but Sean, I'll go to you next. What do you think about the initial roadmap that we've seen for Lorcana and the World Championships?
I'm excited for it. I do the one thing that I am not super excited for is there not being a route from locals to regionals. But I mean, on that same note, I suppose the regionals are just going to be, show up, pay your uh, event fees, and play on. I think it's going to be great. My one big question is for nationals. It's scheduled for winter of this year, correct?
It is.
So where do we think that's going to end up popping up? Is it going to be its own standalone event, or is it what is already in winter as far as like TCG events?
Yeah, that's a good
Wasn't
question.
wasn't PAX at the end of the year?
PAX was at the end of
Or
the
is that
year. PAX did just happen. That is true.
that would make sense to
That
me.
seems like a likely candidate then. Yeah, I'm excited for it. I think that what I'm really hoping is that there are a bunch of regionals. Like I'm hoping for, gosh, 7 to 10 is what I'm hoping to see, spread out all over the country and Canada. Um, Give a lot of different people, a lot of different regions, a chance to step up and make it to nationals and possibly make it to worlds next year.
Yeah, I definitely. I'm just gonna refer to Pokemon because that's what I'm used to. There are tournaments all over. Obviously, that is a much more global game than Lorcana is at right now. Uh, but that being said, there's a good amount of Pokemon regionals, and obviously this is the first time Lorcana is doing a competitive circuit of any kind. So I am interested to see if they're going to start small, see how it goes, and then work their way up to more. Because my prediction is that we're gonna get all these, and it's gonna be a shorter season this year. But say like the 2025 World Championships are late January, early February, we're gonna jump into the next season as soon as those are done. Uh, but Blake, I'll go to you next. What do you think about this initial roadmap? Any other thoughts?
Uh, yeah, Lee touched on it a little bit, but definitely hoping, and I do have some hope because they said North America
Mm-hmm.
versus the United States. So I am hoping that we get some Canadian events up here, at least one or two that I can make it to would make uh, me potentially making it to some of these other bigger events a lot more likely. Uh,
Because we're not trying to go to these events spectating
Yeah.
people. That's not the goal here.
Eh, I would like to try to compete, yes. So if they could have some of these events, like I'll go to the US for like the nationals, but if I can get the regional stuff in Canada,
I feel
uh,
like Toronto would be a great place for a regional.
it yeah, they're Toronto,
Montreal,
Quebec,
Vancouver.
Montreal. There's definitely spots to do it. It's just if they're gonna make those arrangements and have those events here, which what I guess we'll be finding out in March.
Yeah. Still got a bit to go till then, but obviously we now know the roadmap. We know what you have to do. We don't know the actual like nitty gritty of the specifics and how uh you are gonna have to do that, or if there's and something else that was mentioned is there additional in this next little part. It says Ravensburger has also confirmed that there will be additional chances to qualify for the championships to be announced at a later date. Uh, Things like prize support, exactly how to qualify for the events, and how to register to take part will be available on the Lorcana site from this March. So yeah, we're gonna get additional ways. I'll throw a question out to Jared. I'll go to you. Any ponderance of what these additional events could be to get you into these championship level events?
Well, first of all, I think for the regional events, they're going to make it as open as they want to. I think
Mm-hmm.
at the beginning, they want as many people to participate as
Yeah.
possible.
Yeah.
But
Yep.
to
Yep.
your
Yep. Yep.
question about additional ways to get into nationals, I'm not sure. Like, I think one of the things that, like, in My Hero Academia that they did was they would have an MVP award that they'd give to a member of the community who maybe didn't qualify for the national world championship, but they were given this award and then given the ability to participate. So I could see them, giving a member of the community who they feel like has contributed a lot to the community this ability to participate. Um, that's the first thing that comes to my mind.
Yeah, that'd be cool actually. I think yeah, I like that idea. Blake, I'll go to you next. Any ideas on what these other events could be?
Um, no.
That's okay.
No. Um, yeah, I do want to say I don't think we really heard anything about their fan events or
Nope.
their
Oh
casual
yeah.
events. So I'm wondering if we'll hear something about that, and maybe there will be something at some of those events that'll be like, "Hey, you can win this little side thing to potentially get to go to Worlds."
Huh, yeah. My I guess another question I have is like for Pokemon Worlds, they have obviously the invite event, but they also have the Open Championship. I'm curious to see if we'll see something like that where anyone can go to Worlds because it is a World Championship. It's the biggest level, and obviously there are going to be these people that are being invited that have earned their spot. But is there going to be a way that people who want to go to spectate or watch will be able to just play and have fun for the Open Championship, but also just enjoy that atmosphere? Um, but Sean, to you now. Any idea on what these side events could be? I know you anything in Digimon that they did.
There there's two things that come to my mind when it comes to what they could be meaning. One is kind of like what Jared said, is awarding it to, not, I wouldn't say just one member of the community, but several members of the community that have made an impact. Um, and I think that that could also be tied to whatever sort of ambassador program there may be left brewing behind the scenes at Ravensburger. I know that um, one of the people from Ravensburger said that they are going to start working with creators quite a bit
Mm-hmm.
more. Um, and I think that that could be what they mean. Like, it might not be a full blown ambassador program like we thought it was going to be months and months and months ago, but it could be something, and that could, because I know that Magic personalities and content creators that are part of the ambassador program, along with other goodies, they get invited to events. They just get passes for events, so it could be something similar to that. And I know that some people will be like, well, they didn't, like, how did they earn that? They earned it by making an impact in the community. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't like they didn't show it through skill necessarily in the game, but it is
Yeah.
earned. And I was just sneaky. You read my mind, brother. That was my second one. Um, LCQs. I guarantee that we'll see last chance qualifiers. Like at nationals, it'll probably be like the day or two before you go and play to earn like the last chance spots in the championship. That's pretty common in a lot of TCGs. I know Magic does it. I don't know. I don't remember if Bandai games do it, but I would assume that they do.
Yeah, I don't believe Pokemon does it, surprisingly, because I think their system's obviously a bit different with points, and basically anyone who reaches that 600 threshold, at least for Masters, can get in. But yeah, I know that would be. I think that would be a nice way to incentivize people going to nationals, even if they were invited. I guess.
That's exactly right. It gives Ravensburger and Lorcana a chance to have quite a bit more people attend the event that wouldn't have. Like, if you didn't make it into nationals and you don't want to go and just spectate and check out the event, then you're not going to go. But if there's an LCQ and there's a chance, you're going to be there
Hmm.
anyway. So, and I'm sure, like, with all events, there's side events and booths and what have you. So yeah, that's my thoughts. Is it could be one of those two things.
Yeah, I think there are a lot of options, a lot of roads that they could go down. I think LCQ is probably one of the more known ways to do this in the TCG community. But the next part of this article is personally my favorite part. Obviously, that like being able to go to Worlds is amazing. But we got what are going to be new set championships. These are going to be in-store events that you're going to be able to play for a special promo and also a playmat. And the first promo is Rockstar Stitch, the best art in the game, in my opinion, so far. Nicholas Cole did an absolutely amazing job with this. Uh, I want to try to get 4. It's probably a fever dream. It's a pipe dream, but I want to try to get 4. And if I can get 5 to have 4 in a 4 playset and 1 in my collection binder, I'd be happy. But that's fever dream. Set championships. You are gonna be able to go to a store. This is just a part of their regular OP season. It'll happen once per store. You are playing for, like I said, these cards and mats. Top 4 will get the promo card enchanted, and then top 2 will get mats. The champion mat has been revealed. I would presume that maybe the second place mat is finalist, or it's just blank. But yeah, Sean, I'll start with you now. What do you think about these in-store set championships that are going to be starting up in April?
I think that it is going to help revive locals, because I know that there are pockets of locals that are doing well, but I hear way more that people's locals are starting to dwindle a little bit. So yeah, I think that that's just another reason to get people in there to play. The cards, especially, that art is phenomenal. Like, you don't art doesn't get
Mm-hmm.
much better than that. So the chance to win that, and the other promos that come along with the seasons, they're trying to make it worthwhile to go to these events. And now that product is much more available, uh stores can start doing packs as pricing, because that's what a lot of people love when they go to a locals event. They're like, I played and I got 3 booster packs and a couple of promos. That's a good
Mm-hmm.
day.
Hey, yeah, I mean, who knows what those promos might go for? I won't be selling a single one. That card is too beautiful. I've already changed my Discord profile image to the card. Uh,
Oh yeah, no, they'll go for quite a pretty penny, I
yeah.
guarantee it.
Jared, I'll go to you next. What do you think about these in-store programs? I know you have a pretty good local scene out there in Vegas.
We actually do have a really good local scene. I mean, there are several stores with 10 plus people at each tournament, and a lot of them are the same group of people traveling to each store. But I love these. I love these Rockstar Stitch Enchanted promos. I mean, you were talking about wanting to get 5 of them. I will be happy to get 1. I
Right.
am still pretty new to this competitive scene, so I'm going to try really hard to at least snag 1. Um, yeah, it's just gorgeous. So the fact that the initial article said that it was the top 2 that got the enchanted promos, and Rochelle later clarified that it's top 4. So that gives me a little more hope that there's a chance of a possibility that I could maybe obtain one of these.
Yeah, I think it being top 4 makes it a lot easier. The thing that first entered my mind was, like you said, that people are going to be traveling. I guarantee you there's going to be some people traveling pretty far to play in these events. If it's 1 per store, uh, I would not be surprised if people are traveling an hour or 2 to go to these events to try to win these.
And it's not every store,
No,
right?
it'll be a
Like, you
select.
got to like
Yeah,
qualify,
yeah.
right?
In
Yeah.
February, there will be something sent out to stores where they will have to uh, fill out a form, qualify, and obviously with melee and all of that, Lorcana can see how many people are coming to your locals and stuff. And I would not be surprised if that plays into it somehow. Uh,
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
if
what I was
if your
thinking
locals
too.
isn't using melee, you should strongly suggest that
yeah.
they do so.
Um, yeah, I could definitely like that attendance is tracked, and it could provide value to whether or not you host one of these events.
That's how like the Wizards Play Network, I think, is what it's called now. It's basically like Magic Premieres, what it
Hmm.
used to be called, I believe. But it's hard to do, but you need the attendance and you need to be able to
Yeah,
prove it.
I think if you have no one at locals, you'd add. I think even if it was a smaller locals and you advertise it, people would come. But I think they want to get these to locals that have a good amount of people
Oh yeah,
there.
this promo's gonna get people to come
Oh
out to
yeah,
play
one
for
hundred
sure.
percent. Yeah, um, I know. obviously this starts in April, so no, this starts in March with set three. Um, so yeah, there's gonna be a lot of traveling for me around the Indianapolis area. Uh, but yeah, Blake, I'll go to you next. What do you think about these in-store set championships in this beautiful Stitch card that we have on our hands?
Uh, can't talk enough about the card itself. It's so pretty. um, I just know, at least in my area, it's going to be pretty contested. Uh, people, Toronto is a pretty crowded place, so going to be a lot of people fighting for these, and it's going to be there will be plenty of opportunities to get the card, but it's still going to be a hassle to try to make it to all the different events to have multiple attempts at
Hmm.
it. So hopefully I can hit it off with one and get my copy, and I'll just be happy with my one. But yeah, I'm very excited to have an extra reason to hit my locals up and play more games, especially preparing for potential future regional events. Because with these events, it's definitely going to be a lot less casual. People are going to be bringing their A game so they can
Yep.
win these cards.
Like the word around Twitter was after this was announced was everyone's gonna start grinding. The memes were up about grinding. All it was basically the talk of the town, and I agree. I think these cards are gonna make those who truly want to fight for them. They're gonna bring their A game. And I know Jared, you made a tweet that said you were gonna give in to playing the meta lists, which gave me a little chuckle. But yeah, this in-store set championships. I am curious to see. I believe they said these will not lead into qualifying for anything. So these look like they are just going to be their own little events. And yeah, it will be. I think these will be really fun. You don't have to go and travel cross country to win stuff. But you'll have this ability to win these, and it will change every set, so you'll have always an opportunity to do these. My suggestion, whenever the stores announce who has it, coordinate with them and see if they can do these all on different days, so you have the utmost chances to get the card. But yeah, we that's really all we got on OP Play. We got the roadmap and we got the set championships. A question I posed to our Twitter community yesterday was, what 6 locations would you want to see regionals at? And I know this is kind of springing this on you guys because I just thought of it. But I want to know, where do you guys think we could see regional events at? My prediction, if I were to have 6 in North America, if we did one every month, starting in May, leading up to nationals and worlds, I would go. I would probably say Toronto, Indianapolis, Orlando, Dallas, Anaheim. Yeah, those 6. Those are the 6 I would pick. It's pretty spread out. I know there's events. I say Indy because of Gen Con. You have the Anaheim Convention Center out in Anaheim, and then Orlando is Disney. Uh, and Toronto is always great. Blake, I know would love that. But Sean, I'll go to you next. Where do you want to see events pop up across the country?
You basically nailed them, man. You basically that's pretty. It's like that's kind of the best
Mm-hmm.
you can hope for. It's pretty spread out. It hits all the real major areas where TCGs are played. Maybe Vegas instead of Anaheim because I don't know how tied in with like D23 or
Yeah,
anything it can be.
Jared would love a Vegas tournament. I bet he didn't have to
I
go
would love
anywhere.
that.
But Jared, I'll go to you next. Any choices on where do you want to see events pop up across the country?
I mean, pretty similar. The idea is you want like basically 2 on the West Coast, 2 in the middle, and 2 on the East Coast.
Mm-hmm.
And So, I mean, I'm imagining for our Canadian friends something in Vancouver, which is also close enough for people in Washington and Oregon, somewhere in Southern California, like Anaheim. And then, like you said, probably Dallas, probably somewhere like Indianapolis or Chicago, and then probably somewhere like Orlando. And then again, I would probably go with Toronto too. Give the Canadians 2 championships, but again, it's close enough
See,
for,
Toronto's even close enough to where I could justify going.
yeah.
Like
So
where
Oh
I'm
yeah, I
at,
could
yeah, I
easily
could easily
justify
get to
that
that.
too.
so those would be my 6. I mean, I think that that's pretty fairly spread out, and
Hmm.
at the end of the day, you're not going to make everybody happy.
Oh yeah.
So you just got to pick something that's going to work for the most amount of people.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I think there are a ton of great locations. Obviously, uh, I'm in the Midwest. Sean's in the Midwest. Blake, you're up in Canada. Jared, you're out in Vegas. Spencer's down in New Orleans, and everyone's spread out. So you're not gonna, like you said, you're not gonna make everyone happy, but you are. There are still going to be opportunities for everyone. Blake, I know you've mentioned obviously Toronto. In Vancouver, Montreal. Any other cities that maybe haven't been mentioned that you could see a tournament popping up in?
I want just as many events in Canada as the states have. I want equality.
That's true.
Just as many events. Okay,
I'm
there's
not going to
10
get
times the
it,
amount of
but
people in the United States.
yeah, but we need our events too that we can get to.
That's fair. That's fair.
But yeah, definitely want. If we do get at least two, I would definitely want to spread out like Vancouver and
Hmm.
Toronto. Uh, too many times I've seen with other things that everything kind of stays over to the east for Canada, and I know there's a lot of awesome people over on the west side that would appreciate some events in their area. So I definitely hope they do
Hmm.
that for them.
Yeah, it didn't come up, but I could also see Seattle being one, being where Ravensburger's HQ is.
Yeah, that could. Yeah,
Because
you're right. That could be the Western
even
Seaboard
if
one.
in like the people in it's right so close to Vancouver, people can come down. Even if it's Vancouver, Seattle people can go up. So I could also see Seattle happening as a location. Uh, but yeah, that is all that was said on organized play. I pulled a few messages that Rochelle posted in the Discord about this that we will run through. She said the into the Inklands Championship details are coming in February. Lorcana Challenge details in March. So 2 different announcements to come. She says understand judge program and rules documents are highly anticipated. They were not a part of today's announcements, but they are, of course, aiming to have these prior to competitive play beginning. Uh, and then all the details for the DLC are going to be a pretty big announcement, and they're needing a little more time for that. So obviously, the details are announced as their own thing. I think putting these out on their own website is probably the best bet. Just one central place. I know I probably will have that opened every single day in uh, March, waiting for that. And something, Jared, you pointed out before we started was what is it Frank or Frank?
Frankie.
Frankie. Oh. He said that I'll just read this whole quote from the Ravensburger website press release. Disney Lorcana TCG has struck a chord with players, collectors, and fans around the world, and We're so grateful for the support. It has proven to be a fantastic entry point for first-time TCG players, and we'll continue to do everything in our power to make the product available at MSRP pricing. That is something that I am very excited to see. We are getting into the place where MSRP is the norm, but obviously, I think we still have a little ways to go, and hopefully, into the Inklands changes that where everything is at MSRP. We're not overpaying for things. Cross our fingers. But yeah, MSRP. I think that's also a great sign. But the next thing we're going to go into is the second gamer article was Disney Lorcana reveals release dates for its 2024 sets. Now, we didn't get the names. We do know the name, obviously, Into the Inklands, but we know the sets uh, number. We certainly when the sets are going to be released. Obviously, Into the Inklands, February 23rd of this year, and then March 8th for local LGS, and then March 8th for retail and shop Disney. Set 4 is May 17th for LGS and May 31st for retail. Set 5, August 9th. And retail is 23rd, 9th being for LGS, and then November 15th for LGS for set 6, and retail for November 29th. This looks like it will be the same roadmap. There's really nothing different here. That I believe the two sets that are in August and November follow nearly the exact same release schedule as First Chapter and Rise of the Floodborn. Any thoughts? I'm gonna throw it out there. I know I've been directing it to people, but any thoughts on these release dates, or these are kind of just like, okay, we kind of expected this. I feel like.
I just have a thought. I mean, like you said, it's pretty standard. We probably could have guessed when the release dates were going to be. Um, and I'm grateful, first of all, that they've given us this roadmap. If I could like wave a magic wand, I wish we could expand on this roadmap, maybe include the set names, but specifically, it'd be nice to see like if they plan on expanding into any territories. Like, hey, set 5, we're going to expand into Mexico and Brazil and
Mm-hmm.
Spain and these types of territories, because I know there's a lot of people around the world who are dying to play this game. Like, as much as we were frustrated that we couldn't get product because it was so short supply, at least we had the chance to get product. And just like they announced with set 3 that they're going into Italy and I think 10 other markets, it'd be really cool to see, how this game is going to grow globally.
Yeah, definitely. Seeing it in Italy is amazing. I believe they've announced it for, was it 10 different languages? I could
Not languages, but 10 new
10 new
markets,
markets.
including
Okay,
Italy.
including Italy, and obviously those will be phased out over the course of the year. But yeah, you're right. I would love to see when those are coming. I know I have a few buddies who are in Australia that I've been talking to that are very excited to play this game. Uh, so I am I'm pumped to see what this year has in store. We have a nice roadmap, and hopefully we get more as the year goes on. Obviously, we are waiting for more announcements, and maybe those will give us a little bit more. Into
The only other
Good.
Sorry, the only other thing that I'd point out is that the release date I think of set 5 is August 9th, which is the same day as D23. So, there
Oh,
might be a connection there.
oh,
Also, for retail release on the 23rd for set 5 is my birthday. So
birthday
if
gift
Nice.
for
anyone wants
Blake.
to know what to get me for my birthday,
There you go. May 23rd. Blake's birthday. May 20, August 23rd. Whoops. August
August
23rd.
23rd.
Blake's
Nope.
birthday. Get him some set 5. Uh, but yeah, you're right, Jared. There is still a lot more markets to come, and that D23, with it being the August 9th release, could be very interesting. Maybe we'll see a tournament there. Who knows? If it is a tournament, it wouldn't be with set 5, obviously, but we could see set 5 prizing come from that tournament. But that is the roadmap that we got for the dates of this year. The last and final article we're going to touch on from the Gamer is Disney Lorcana Gateway introduces a new way to learn to play this August. Uh, this is a new beginner way. It says each deck will come, or each box will come with 2 decks and a number of prize cards, allowing you to progress through tutorials for the game until your decks become fully viable pre-cons for regular play. It'll launch along the 5th set this August. So for all those parents bringing kids to D23, pick these up at D23, and you hopefully can teach your kid at the event. It says launching alongside the 5th set this August, Ravensburger explains that Gateway will include everything 2 players need to play right out of the box, including 2 30-card decks, a game board to explain the various zones cards can sit in, and even character standees to help visualize how questing and challenging works. Jared, I know you posted something about if Martin's a character stand. I believe that was you.
Yeah.
So Martin's going to come and cause ruckus in the real world, guys. It's going to happen. The interesting bit though is it'll come with additional cards that are given as rewards for completing stages of learning how to play the game. As you progress through it, these cards will be added to introduce new mechanics and concept, making the deck more complex until by the end it's becoming a legal regular deck you can take to your shop and play with. This is like I think a lot of any other TCGs have their yes, beginner friendly. These are going to be beginner friendly boxes for you to get if you want to teach your kid. I know Jared and Sean, you guys are both parents, and Jared, your daughter plays this and son, right? They both play, or do you just have two?
Just my son.
Just your
Yep.
son, okay. But and then Sean, I know your son played Digimon with you. I don't know how much Lorcana he plays. Uh,
Oh, we've
awesome,
played.
awesome.
We've played. Yeah.
But I'll start with you, Jared. It's coming from the parent perspective, and maybe if you want to teach a kid or teach like a niece or nephew, what do you think about these gateway decks that are going to help teach the game a lot better?
Well, I'm really curious to see how these play out. I mean, first of all, I appreciate it. By the time set 5 rolls out, Lorcana will have been out for a year, so I imagine that the complexity will definitely be upped.
Mm-hmm.
We've been kind of like with my son, he's been able to learn Lorcana as it has gradually introduced complexity with set 1, now set 2. Set 3 is going to have locations. But if I were to, come to somebody around set 5, like this is the same issue that I had with Magic. I tried to get into Magic while he's waiting for Lorcana to come out, and I went through the basic tutorials,
Mm-hmm.
which was fine. But then as soon as I started playing against real people with real decks on their arena, um,
Mm-hmm.
it was just like it was way too much for me. I did not have that 30 years worth of experience. And so I'm curious to see how this product plays out. Like, it sounds like it's going to be an experience, almost like a card game mixed with a board game, where once you hit certain achievements, you get to add cards to your deck. And then those decks will teach you how to, play new mechanics or something like
Mm-hmm.
that. And I think that this is going to be a great way. I mean, Disney and Ravensburger are obviously trying to reach the non traditional TCG crowd. I think that this will be a great way to introduce those people. I mean, it's called a gateway set.
Yeah.
I think that this will be a great gateway into the game.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I know I'll be picking this up to teach my cousins because they are big Pokemon fans. But I'd love them to play Lorcana with me too. Uh, but Sean, I'll go to you next. What do you think about these gateway boxes, and how do you think they're going to shape up new players coming into the game? Ooh.
I think they're great, man. I think they're really cool considering you're going to have some Disney people that are like, hey, let's pick this up and see what it's like. It says Disney. It could be fun, you know? Um, it'll draw people in that way, and for parents with their kids, man, it's going to be. I plan to pick up one just to see what it's all about. It could be a lot of fun. Deck building games can be really great. I feel like it's probably going to be similar to that. So, no, I think they're
Yeah,
awesome.
I know Pokemon. This was a little bit ago, but they came out with, like a box. I don't remember the official name, but they came out with a box that you can pick up, and it's basically you open it like Jared said. It's like a board game mixed with a TCG. You learn how to play. I think this is going to be great for teaching. But Blake, I'll go to you next. What do you think about the Gateway program? Or not program, Gateway set that is going to help teach new folks.
Um, for some particulars of it, the acrylic standees I'm very interested to see, and I'm also hoping that those are a big enough success that we maybe start seeing them in the gift
Mm-hmm.
sets. Um, uh, Not as opposed to the giant cards, but like in addition, uh, and maybe get rid of the little cardboard tokens that we get with all of these. I just know a lot of other TCGs with their gift sets. They have all of these goodies packed inside them, and seeing some acrylic standees with some characters. Like, how awesome would it be is if they had one that was just big enough to run along a track for a Lord tracker or something like that, or even some acrylic markers for some conditions, kind of for like Elsa's abilities, or I'm stuck showing character that can't ready the next turn, stuff like that.
Yeah, I definitely just like remind me, like poison and burn trackers in Pokemon, and those obviously are a vital part of the game. But when you have the ability, when you are able to put the actual token on the board, one, it helps. It's a nice visual aspect to be able to see, oh, that card can't ready, that card can't attack, that card has reckless, stuff like that. But yeah, that is the gateway program. Jared, you got your little flounder message in or call out in the article. Play a flounder, put a flounder standee down. Uh,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it says it will cost $24.99 when it launches on August 9th, alongside the game's fifth set. And yeah, that is Gateway. Great way to teach.
Uh, it, yeah, that price point though for 2 decks and
Not bad.
some extra stuff, that's pretty awesome.
Maybe even some packs, hopefully.
Not mad at that at all.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is OP. That is what we got this past Wednesday. Obviously there is a lot still to come. But for final thoughts, Sean, I'll start with you. Any other final thoughts you have on OP or any of the articles that we got this week?
I'm just excited, man. This right here is what we've all been waiting for. You know, like this is the. I know that there have been tournaments and that there has been a competitive scene, but this is
Mhm.
official. This is the road to Worlds, man. So I'm excited. I'm ready to start grinding and get some wins in,
I mean,
man.
this is what we made this podcast for, was for the competitive scene of Lorcana.
Exactly.
Blake, I'll go to you next. Any final thoughts on OP play?
Please come to Canada. Please come to Canada. Please come to Canada. Just looking forward to March and seeing where everything is going to be taking place. Even if there's nothing in Canada, I'm sure I'll try to make it to at least one event.
Yeah. I still have to meet you, Blake. That hasn't happened yet. Sean and I both have to meet you still.
Yep,
Yep.
it's true.
There needs to be one that we decide to meet up
Yeah.
at and try to take on together.
And then Jared, any final thoughts on OP and where can everyone find you on the socials?
Just like Sean said, I'm just excited for the announcement. I mean, I know we all wish that we had more information. I was hoping that I could have my, vacation plans planned out already at this point. But the skeleton of the organized play program that they laid out has me very excited. I'm very excited that, there's a progression from regionals to continentals to worlds, which is invite only, that they're planning on doing an open, worlds where even if you don't qualify, potentially there's going to be events there for you. I mean, it feels like it's going to be inclusive of everybody, whether you're there for the tournament or not.
Mm-hmm.
And in the store, the set challenges, I'm very excited about those. Like, I'm already wanting to up my game so that I can try to get my hands on one of those Stitch. So I feel like overall this was a very good announcement, and had it not come when it did, we'd still be sitting here belly aching for more news. Like, when are we going to get competitive play news? So I'm very happy. As far as where people can find me, you can find me on Twitter at Citizens of Lorcana, and we have a podcast, my co-host James Riley and I. It's called the Citizens of Lorcana podcast. So thank you again so much for having me on. This was a pleasure.
Yeah, of course. You did just drop an episode earlier this morning. So when we get this out, everyone listening, go listen to Jared's podcast with Lorcanaville. And yeah, that was episode 31 of the Glimmer Gang podcast. Everyone, we want to thank you all for listening. You can find us at Glimmer Gang Pod on all socials, YouTube, everywhere. And we will see you guys in the next one. Glimmer on.